Coming up next on In the Box Seat podcast.
I've had over 1,200, 11, the last time I saw was over 1,100 winners in my career and over 50 group winners and listed races. So I've accomplished a lot in my life, you know. My goal is that now, for the second time, I've come back more hungry than I ever was.
Well, you've heard over the past, owners are filtering back, jockeys are filtering back into racing from other countries, and trainers are certainly relocating and filtering back and coming back into racing. That's just how great the game is at the moment, how it's flourishing. Today's guest is a gentleman that's decided to relocate, come back to KwaZulu-Natal or come to KZN from Mauritius and start afresh. And we're going to spend the next 45 minutes with a great man by the name of Dominic Zaki. Dominic, how are you?
Very good one, and thanks for having me on the show.
Absolute pleasure. Raheel, I know we were just chatting a bit earlier on, you know, Dom had just left the country when you sort of got involved, and you're going to particularly enjoy this to learn more about him, but how wonderful that he's back in KZN of all places.
Yeah, absolutely, Warren. Good to have you, Dominic, and looking forward to hearing his story, his journey, and not knowing much about him. I just know what you've told me about him and the number of graded winners that he's had. So yeah, I look forward to hearing from him and what his expectations and goals are for the future here in KZN.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's start off with where you were born. Where were you born, and your family? Tell us about your family, your wife, kids, etc. Let's start with that.
Warren, I was born in Joburg. I've been in Joburg basically 53, 54 years of my life.
Okay.
Just recently, obviously, you know, we'll talk about the Mauritius stint. But yeah, I've been in Joburg all my life. I'm married to a lady called Beverly, a wonderful woman. She's also from a racing family, the surname Leisha. She's related to Barty Leisha. Okay. I've got 3 beautiful girls. Okay. That's why I've got a big shotgun in the back of my cupboard.
A big shotgun and bald on top as well. I've also 3 girls in the house. So you 3 girls in the house too?
3 girls in the house. Well, I actually got 4 with my wife. So it's, yeah. So I've got 3 lovely daughters, Savannah, Montana, and Electra. That's my family.
Was it always from day one, from when you were, as we call it, a lightie, that was always going to be racing? Was there ever any doubt it could be something else?
No, it was always going to be racing. And, you know, my late dad, Teddy Zaki, used to own horses back in the day. So as soon as I used to finish school, I was at the track riding work in the holidays, riding work in the early mornings. When I realized I was going to be too big to be a jockey, I focused on being a trainer. So at the age of 16, I worked for a trainer called George Stampulis, a very good trainer. He knew his thing. I learned a lot from him. At the time, I was riding work for a couple of trainers at Turfentine Racecourse, including the old Ormond Ferraris. I used to go now and again to see him. But yeah, it's been quite a journey. But we started at a very, very young age.
At what age did you think, okay, this is going to be my future? I can see myself actually making a living out of this.
To be honest with you, it was never a doubt. It was from the day I went to the stables with my dad at the age of 3 or 4 years old. He put me on a horse at that age, walking in the paddock with him. But it's never been doubt. Racing's always been in my blood. It's a family tradition. There's never been any doubt about becoming a trainer.
What age did you sort of get your trainer's license at?
Funny enough, asking me that question is that I got my license when I was 21. Sure. I think at that time I still think the youngest trainer that ever got their license at the time. And within 3 weeks I had my first winner.
Sure.
Yeah. Wow. And within a month I had my first group winner. So we got off to a flying start, you know. And at that stage I trained privately for my dad, which he was the only one that I trained for. Started off with about 25 horses. My cousin Martin was also training for my dad, so he had two trainers training privately for him. His string built up to 130, 140 horses at the time. And that's where we got the grounding from, you know. And when he passed away, I took out a private train, an open trainer's license, and at that time I had quite a lot of bad horses, and I couldn't really afford to keep the bad horses. We owned them all, so I diminished the string by 75%. So I started with like 15 horses maybe at the time, and we won plenty races. We won group races. I think 3 weeks after I took out my open trainer's license, I won my first Group 1 again with a horse called Jamaican Treasure. Years ago with Pierre Stradom actually rode her. And then within a year, I had 140 horses.
Sure.
Yeah, that's how quick we grew.
What do you mean open trainer's license?
So a private trainer's license when you train for one person, one owner only.
Sure.
It's sort of like Mrs. Plattner.
Okay.
So Mrs. Plattner's trainer would be a private trainer too. He only trains for Mrs. Plattner. I trained solely for my dad at the time, and when he passed away, I took out the open trainer's license, which allows you to train for everybody.
Sure. So obviously that, as you say, well, if I phoned Andre to say, please train these 2 fillies for me, he'd have to say no, because the rules wouldn't allow that. It's
at that time, the rules wouldn't allow it. No, private trainer trains just for one person, and I don't think it's changed. But yeah, I don't think he could train you horse.
Warren, I mean, talk about making first impressions. I mean, at the age of 21, 4 weeks later, you have your first graded win. I mean, that's something that's sort of unheard of.
Yeah, absolutely, and you know, just to put it into perspective, especially for you, you know, I mean, you're 23, you know, 21,
yes,
so go back 2 years, and if you were a trainer, you've trained your first Group 1.
And I'll tell you who the group winner was, Jacaranda House.
Jacaranda House.
Yeah, he won, and he ended up winning me 11 races. So he was a wonderful horse to train.
Yeah, but so to put that into perspective, you know, as if you were a trainer 2 years ago, you've already had your Group 1. I mean, it is mind blowing. It is great, and the journey will get better and better as Dominic talks. Who did you do a bit of time with your dad, but assistants, or who did you have working for you? I mean, which yards did you go through?
So once I only worked for George Tempulis, and then after I was assistant trainer, a stable employee, then assistant trainer with him.
Okay.
And then I got approached by my dad to open a yard privately for him, and which we did, as I told you. And then once my yard grew as an open trainer's license, I had 3 assistants. Fabian Habib was one of my assistants.
Okay.
He now trains. He's quite a good trainer. Clinton. His surname preludes me, was another one of my assistants. He actually works for Clinton Binder.
Okay, Clinton.
You know Clinton,
yes,
that works for Clinton Binder. Yeah, he was another one of my assistants. And a guy called Martin. We used to, Martin Zaki. You know Martin.
Works with Fabian now, Martin.
Correct.
Okay.
He was one of my assistants.
Lovely man.
We had a very big team at that stage. We had about 70 to 80 staff members.
Sure.
And at the time, I trained on a farm privately. So I had my own stables, I had my own grass track, my own sand track. We had a house on the farm. We had hundreds of paddocks, a big place in Walkerville. And then a couple of years later, we moved to the Vaal, where we trained at the Vaal. We did very well at the Vaal. And that's where we were.
Just for the public and for Raheel and for me, just rattle off some of the top horses you've had, your group winners, and just so to refresh that memory.
Funny enough, most of my group winners came from Durban. My first group winner was Tallahatchie. He won the Premier's Champion Challenge at Clarewood at the time. Delpeche, he actually won. It was Anthony Delpeche that rode the horse. He won my first Group 1. We won many group races with a horse called National Spirit.
Correct.
He won the Dingons, he won the Guineas, he won the Graham Beck, he won the Champions Cup here at Durban, beating a horse called Capel. That also went to Dubai.
Stan horse, Capel.
Yes, Capel, it went to Dubai. He won the Drillhall Stakes here. He won the Golden Horseshoe on July Day here.
No wonder he's come back to Durban.
He loves it, Happy hunting ground.
And then we also had a horse that won another Group 1 year, was Exhilaration, beating Bolsora in the Premier's Cup as well. And then I think I won the Merchants 2 or 3 times. Mentor was one of them, at National Spirit. Right. I won a horse with I got a horse from way of my wing called Mentor at the time, and we won the group. We won the Drillhall Stakes here.
Okay.
I think he also possibly could have won the Merchants, and I won with Super Profit. I won the Merchants with him from draw 14 out of 14 with Stuart Randolph, and we won. We won the horse chestnut, and I won with Eddington.
Eddington, I remember Eddington.
At the time was the richest race in South Africa at the time. It was 3.5 million rand. It was called the Goma Goma. It's equivalent to the Summer Cup at that stage, which was obviously sponsored by Goma Goma at the time. Yeah, he won with P.S. Stradum start to finish. Yeah, I think I won over 50 to 60 group races, group and listed races, I should say. But yeah.
You mentioned a lot of achievements. What has been the most rewarding achievement for you, though? If you could single out one specific one.
Sure. There was obviously when I won at the Eddington, that Group 1, that was world class. I think I won 2 feature races a day with a filly called Sarabi. She won the Sycamore Sprint or something like that on that particular day. And another highlight was when I won the National Spirit, when you won the Dingons with Glen Hatt. We won 3 or 4 races on that day. So we won another group race. I think we won the Gold Bowl at the end of the day with Winning Leap. It was just after that, but we won it with another horse, I think Theatre of Dreams at the time. But I won that race about 4 times, the Gold Bowl. But the Dingons day was wonderful. We had a good vibe, and the racecourse was packed on that particular day, and we cleaned up on that particular day. And also, a couple of years later, July Day, we won 3 or 4 races on July Day. Got beat the shorthead with a filly called Ghostwriter in a Group 2.
Ghostwriter,
I think Sunrise won the first race, and Jet Pass won another race. There were 2 other horses that also did very well on that particular day.
Just to flip the coin now, I mean, you've mentioned the high stories and hitting major heights in your career, but what has been the lows? I mean,
sure.
the hardest time of your career that you've faced over the last sort of 50 years?
The hardest time of my career was definitely when I gave my license up in 2015.
Yeah.
That was going to 100%. That was the first time that you gave up.
Yes.
Okay, right. Continue.
In 2015. It was financially I couldn't carry on. I was, owed a lot of money by owners at that time. And there were also other difficulties which I had to sort of give up. For me, the horse comes first. Yeah. If you can't give a horse, your stable horses, 110%, don't do it. Yeah. I lost a bit of the passion. When you get a bit sour to the game because of this and that. But anyway, I don't regret my decision. I went to work for Teletrack for a couple of years, and then when COVID came, I got retrenched. Then I went to Hollywood Bets. We were doing a podcast. It worked out beautifully. Did it for a couple of months, and I was approached by 4 Racing, and then I started working for them. And then, at the time, 2015, I said, I don't think I'll ever come back to racing. It's just too much. I've got to get that passion back.
Yeah. So before Mauritius, you were at 4 Racing, is that correct?
First Pumalela,
yes.
Then Hollywood Bets,
right,
and then 4 Racing.
Okay, and then at that stage now, years have passed. There must have still been, I know you said you were a bit sour at the time, etc. But surely, had you started pining? Had you started missing? Had you started feeling that magnet to draw you back?
To be very honest with you, the day I stopped, the next day I was already pining. So it's just when racing's in your blood, it's one of those. Call it a disease that
African horse sickness. We've all got it.
You never lose it. You never lose.
That's what Dee says. You can check out. What's that saying? I can't get it right, but you can leave, but you can check out, but you can never leave. You always have to come back.
But funny enough, I was always involved with horse racing in the studios and watching every race, and and then in 2022, I was approached by a Mauritian owner called Jean-Michel Lisham to come train in Mauritius. I was a bit hesitant, but the opportunity was the contract he gave me was very fruitful, So I decided to go. I spoke to my family, and we all decided as a family to go. I don't regret it. I went there for 3 years.
Many winners, Dom. You had turned them out, didn't you?
The first season was a little bit difficult, but we only had 3 weeks of racing. I just started 3 weeks. I had 3 winners in 3 weeks.
Okay.
The next season, with 12 horses only, I had 17 winners.
Sure.
And then the following season, we got we got the support, and I had 49 winners with 30 race meetings. I was winning 4 races a meeting, and the experience there was unbelievable. You know what? You pay big money just to get that feeling of winning a race there.
Mauritius racing,
it's unbelievable.
When before I went, everybody had said it's this, the crowds, it's that, and you think but when you actually get there and when they turn for home and the whole grandstand erupts, you actually just, you can't hear the commentator, you're just in awe of what you're seeing. It's
100%. And then that magic, they call it magic, that came back into me, that zest for racing, that zest to do well, and I just loved it, and then I was totally taken, When I went there, it was a bit of a challenge, I must be honest. The trainers there weren't welcoming, they were a bit wary of me, and the more I won, the less popular I became with them, but more popular with the crowd. And look, the Mauritian people, I'd say you get the guys that love you and the guys that hate you in any sport.
Yes.
But I think I had a good 80% of them really enjoyed. You know how it is in Mauritius. If you're a trainer or jockey, they put you up like an icon.
Absolutely, because it's it's like rugby stars, soccer stars. These are racing stars. That's
What happened? Why are you back in South Africa?
You know what? It wasn't to be honest with you, it wasn't my intention to come back. I really loved it. My family were going to move over. Once, I was never really settled in Mauritius. They were coming and then they weren't coming because of the uncertainty that I experienced in those 3 years. But I was hoping to renew my license with the government's change and with the MTC. I was actually happy that MTC came along so I could sort of get my own yard, not work under somebody, and just do my thing that I needed to do and build up a life there,
Yeah.
And unfortunately, whoever worked for the last government, the guy that ran, not the Prime Minister, but my boss was sort of very involved with the last government. MTC never renewed their licenses, and I thought it was a bit, being champion trainer and with a strike rate of nearly 45%, winner to runner, I thought I'd be the first on the list.
Yes.
And I sat there for 1 year waiting for a license, which almost crippled me. Just sitting and waiting, and yes, it's coming, and they never ever gave me a valid reason, So, but you know what? Racing is, I think, now with MTC, it's gonna blossom. They're really trying hard to up the game. I don't blame anybody for not getting a license. It's very political there, which I understand. So I couldn't wait any longer. A year's long enough.
Yeah.
Sitting also without your family. They would come and then go back, stay a month, stay up and down, and obviously financially I couldn't sustain it. So we decided to open a yard in Durban, KZN. When I got back to Greyville, what Hollywood Bets have done for Durban racing is unbelievable. Really, I couldn't recognize Greyville. They've really put a lot of money into Greyville.
Why KZN though? Why not the Highveld or the Western Cape?
I trained in the Highveld all my life.
Yeah.
And just with the amount and also the incentives that they're giving out in Hollywood Bets now, that incentive program which they got, I think is wonderful. And also, another big reason is also the horses that are currently purchased for Mauritius were standing in Cape Town for 8 months, 9 months. Poor owners were just paying, and there was no results to where I was going in Mauritius. And the caliber of horses, I think, would rather be in Durban, a little bit weaker caliber, not disregarding any centre, but I think Durban would have been the right place for those particular horses. And also, I wanted a change of environment. I didn't want to go back to the Joburg scene again. I'm bringing up my family here. We're all going to be together at last after 3.5 years. So yeah, I think Durban, with the incentive, what Hollywood Bets has done for racing is unbelievable. You know, that's why I want to be part of it.
You mentioned, obviously, so you were in Mauritius, you'd obviously had to plan your relocation, everything from there. So you would have gone Mauritius back to Joburg and then into Durban, or did you go straight Mauritius into Durban?
I went straight from Mauritius. I went to Joburg for a short period and then came here. But everything was sort of pre-planned before I left Mauritius. I phoned Tony Riverland to if there were stables available. He said, thank God they were just the right amount at the moment, because it's now full apparently, you know. So I got lucky applying for stables at that particular time. I did all the networking from Mauritius with the NHA to get my license back. The Mauritian GRA, the GRA is the governing body of racing in Mauritius, and the HRD in Mauritius. So I had to get a clearance letter. They gave me a wonderful clearance letter. Everything was great. I handed that to the NHA. I got my license. Yeah. Well, I had my license since 2022 again in Joburg, in South Africa, I should say. I just had to get a clearance letter to renew it again. That's all it was. But yeah.
Where's your yard at Summerveld? Who's your neighbour? Are you in the new block, the old block?
I'm right at the top next to Michael Roberts.
Okay.
Yeah, it's where the bridge is.
Yes.
The yard on the side. You know, I've spent a bit of money fixing up things and doing that. And I must say, the maintenance team, Tony Riverland and his maintenance teams, Michael and all the guys at Summerveld, I've never experienced such committed people. Everything is done on time. You want this fixed, that done. They're there and they do it immediately.
How many times have we heard that?
Yeah,
how many times in all our podcasts, and especially with trainers that have come in here maybe to raid or to move. Adam Azzi was with us last week. He said exactly the same thing.
They're very welcoming and they had everything planned, and obviously they had a few odds and ends to do. But I'm very happy with the yard I've got. They're busy renovating the whole of Summerveld, I believe, all the old stables. Tony's said I might get another yard next year, sometimes after the renovation. You know what? I'm happy where I am, and there's empty stables at the back of me, so I can always
overflow to there.
Yeah.
Dom, you just go back to Teletrack, and you did presenting, and you did selections and tippings and podcasts. Not easy part of the game, eh?
No, you are not hiding to nothing, tipping. I know you feel you and Neil. You're not hiding to nothing. No, it's not easy. You know, you have your good days, you have your bad days. But it's never, you know what, if you do your homework, and I'm sure you guys study for hours. I know I used to study for hours, sure. But I also understood horses. You know, I could watch a race and see that particular run last time, how much they can improve. I used to sum everything up, you know, and I did quite well tipping, but obviously tipping's not easy.
Yeah. You know, you should say that, and you say, you know, how we feel and how you felt, etc. And I had a conversation with an influential gentleman in the industry who will remain nameless, but he said to me, he said, I can see, you know, when you select a horse and they get beat, you take it to heart, you take it personally, and I do, you know, and I do sometimes, because, you know, you obviously, everyone, nobody goes to work to be wrong, you want to be right. But as you say, you know, tipping is not easy. But he said the most interesting thing to me, and ever since he said that, it's changed my perspective a bit. And he said that as often as you, Raheel, Dominic, Warren, are getting it right, the opposite, which is obviously the punter or the person that's opposite you, is getting it wrong, and vice versa. You know, as long as often as you're getting it wrong, they're also getting it wrong. You know, and and when I look at it like that, you know, any punter that tells you they never lose, you know, then they're talking nonsense.
That's racing is racing. You know, you win some days, you lose some days. If they always won, there would be no bookmakers left. So.
You mentioned reuniting with your family. How much of drive and how much more sort of energy does that give you now that you guys are all together again and you're starting this new chapter in your life?
You know, the old chapter of my life prepped me for the new chapter of my life, because the mistakes I made in the old chapter, I've rectified in the new chapter. I'm selecting what owners I want in my yard. I don't want 200 horses. I want a yard of maybe between 40 and 60 horses. That's manageable. I had the best time of my life when I had 60 horses. I was in the top 5 in South Africa when I had 60 horses, you know, and we just did so well. I think when you get to 100 and they become numbers, 150, all the horses become numbers and the owners become numbers. I'm very hands-on with my owners. I love to talk to them. I love them to be part of my business. I inform them quite often. Yeah, I know it's not easy, you know. It's a lot of people that haven't got. I enjoy it. I want them to be part. They pay their money every month. They must be part of the process, you know, of racing. They must enjoy their time while they own a horse.
Well, you can't go to the golf course. You know, you pay your money to enjoy it, to be part of it. It's like going to the golf course, paying your green fees, and getting in your car and not playing golf. You've got to get involved. You're paying 100%. To get involved. It's your hobby.
They're not going to get an email from you. They'll get a call from you. You know, they must be part of the process. You know, I've got my daughter Savannah. She's very passionate with horses, and her boyfriend Caleb. Savannah's now she went through the process of doing these equine courses, and she's, I promise you, one of the most natural persons with horses. She did show jumping for a number of years. She's very good with horses. She possibly one of the new women trainers that will approach the ranks in the near future.
What's your stock looking like, and when do you sort of plan or intend on having your first runner?
You know, first of all, I must say I must thank the Mauritian owners that are currently with me. They've been with me for a long time. We all made money in Mauritius. We had abundance of winners, and they stuck with me. You know, they're very loyal. It's very hard to get these type of loyal owners that are behind you, and especially there's a guy it's a company called Honest Tours in Mauritius that does contract work for companies in Mauritius, transporting people from one location to another. They work in Mauritius, international clients, etc. He's my biggest owner at the moment. He's the one that financed me to come to Durban and helped me to get on my feet. And his name's Gemini Pillay. He owns a horse called Talk to the Master and Vian's Bomb. He bought those horses for Mauritius. Another good owner of mine that's been with me a long time is a guy called Jimmy. Pierre Lewis, he's got a couple of horses with me, and also they stuck with me, these guys, you know. Another guy that fought hand and nail for me to get my license in Mauritius, a guy called Kenna Pillay, that he was with me at the races. I brought him to show him South African racing. He brought a new client, a guy called Bunty from Mauritius, to have a look at the experience racing. He bought a share in a horse, but this group of owners that I got are loyal, it's staunch, and good people, you know.
Just correct me if I'm wrong. At the top of the podcast, I mentioned about new owners coming back into the game, etc. I could be wrong, so correct me if I am. Mr. O'Brien, the sky blue Kiss Silks.
George O'Brien.
Yes, and it's the same gentleman. He's got a few runners. He had one with Tini Prince Louis.
Okay.
Had a couple of runners of late. It's nice to see this. But it was the same George O'Brien that you trained for. Was that right then?
George O'Brien, yeah, the white and the light blue.
Light blue.
Yes,
okay,
the light blue colours. He owned Eddington with a guy called Warwick, with a partner called Warwick Oakley.
That's right.
He won with Eddington, and he was a very big client of mine at the time, and he enjoyed racing very much. And one of the biggest clients I had, and a gentleman of note, was a guy called Dominic Zaki. I used to train for. What a man! He passed away sadly, but he was so good to me. He always supported me, and at that stage, and I think a month before I gave up my license in 2015, at that time, I won a Group 1 with a horse of his called Arabian Beat. He won the nursery, beating one of Mark de Kock's horses. Can't think of the name of the second horse. But I've had some really good owners. At that time, I used to train for Larry Nestet, like I was saying off air, Bernard Cantor. I had horses of Mr. Joost at that time. We had some very big owners in our yard, and
Rahil mentioned or asked you about the support and the stock, etc. You've touched on your Mauritius guys and team that have supported you, but as the news got out, Sporting Post, Lance Benson did a great article. As the news got back that the Zak is back, has it been, besides the Mauritians, has there been interest? Has there been interest in the yard?
Yes, there has. I got a 2-year-old from a very nice gentleman called Mark Maroney from Ireland. I haven't met him yet, just via the phone. I've spoken to him, but he loves his racing. He's very passionate about his horse. And it's quite a nice 2-year-old, and hopefully we can have success with him. I've got a horse one from Joburg, still a maiden for Martin Bortma. He's one of the bigger owners in Joburg. And the rest are Mauritian owners, and we're going to get support from a few owners that are wanting to buy horses in the next couple of months on the sales to come. But as I was saying off air, in less than a month, and I haven't even started racing, I've grown from, we started with 7, we're nearly on 11.
Okay.
So,
geez, that's good. That is good. Yeah. Have you done? Sorry, Rahil.
No.
Have you done your marketing and are you on social media? Because we want people to contact you. I mean, social media marketing. Talk to us about that.
My daughter Savannah does my social media. Me and social media. I look at the reels. That's what.
That's the best part of it.
That's the best part of it. My daughter. We got an Instagram page, and obviously I've got a Facebook page, but. Savannah does all my marketing on
So on Instagram, Dom Zaki, is it Dom
yes,
Zaki? Dominic
Dom Zaki,
Dom Zaki Racing, okay. And does she have an email? If anybody wanted to contact you, is there an email address?
My email address is d.zakiracing@mweb.co.za.
Lovely, you guys will put it up on the strip as well. So.
What's your goals? What's your expectations?
Rail, I've had over 1,200, the last time I saw was over 1,100 winners in my career, and over 50 group winners and listed races. So I've accomplished a lot in my life, my goal is that now, for the second time, I've come back more hungry than I ever was. When
Why is that though?
Hungry, I just maybe it's because of the 3 or 4 or 5 years that I was out of racing, that this hunger came back into me, and I'm a much better person for it. I promise you, the break, like a horse coming off a long layoff, did very well.
And the way you're carrying on, you might not need, it looks like you might not need the run as well when you come back. You might hit the ground running, looking at his track record.
Definitely.
I lost a couple of kilos in Mauritius, but but I've never lost the hunger for racing, but the passion for training is another thing that's really back into me now at the moment, and I'm hungry to win these big races, Group 1s and whatever the case may be. But we'll start slowly and grow slowly, and obviously, like I said, I'm very selective of who comes into my yard.
Sure. You mentioned hunger, and just to leave horse racing aside for a moment.
I thought you were going to ask him what's his favourite meal, talking about hunger.
No, we'll get to that. We'll get to that. I mean, have you got to experience much of the Durban cuisine now that you're back?
I have.
Loving it?
I went to a restaurant, Incredible India in Mshlanga.
Sure.
I had lovely curry.
I'm talking about Incredible India, like you acknowledging like you know it well. I've never heard of it. I mean, both of you lose my number.
Though.
Sorry?
Durban food is the best. Or you're going to disagree?
I'd say Lebanese food is good. No, look, I love hot food.
Yeah.
I've still got to try the bunny chow. They told me there's a hotel here somewhere.
Have you not had a bunny chow?
Not yet.
I'll tell you what. Pity we weren't pressed for time. We'll take you for one. We'll take you for one now. But where's the best bunny?
Sure, there's lots of places.
Lots of places.
Yeah,
they said we were driving back from the races, and my wife wanted a bunny chow. And Rahil said, go this way, turn left, turn right. And I tell you, it was down North Coast Road or South Coast Road. I said, this can never be the best bunny chow. Looking at in this area, we might not get to the place and get out of the place, never mind the best bunny chow. and it was very good. But he's right. There's a lot of places.
Sometimes the best food comes from the shadiest places.
100%.
Yeah, absolutely.
That is a valid point. Yeah. The seafood in Mauritius is unbelievable. But you know what? Like I said, I promise you, I was probably at the time of my life in Mauritius. I was really sad to leave under the circumstances for no reason. But
what's the island life like?
It's lovely. It's lovely. You live an extra 10 years if you go there. It's so calm and placid, and it's a lovely place to live in. It really is. It's the people are great. The food's good. The racing's excellent. Life was good there.
Is there much of a nightlife? Are they big on nightlife there?
Look, for me, I'm past that stage, but. My children went to 1 or 2 places, and it's quite safe. It's really safe, the island, you know, and they really had a good time there.
Oh, exciting.
On this race course, Hollywood Beds Gravel, you'll get, on a race meeting, you'll get a Hollywood bunny. So there's options. The Durban View curry, in my opinion, is one of the best in the land. The curry is great. So curry and hot food and spicy food, there'll be a plenty. Stick with us, we'll make sure you're well fed.
I'm definitely going to be around for a while.
And then we would take it one step further. We'll get Mr. Radhakrishna to bring a parcel from his house. Then that's unbeatable. That can't get beat. That's grade one. Dom,
yes.
How do you choose yearlings? I mean, you go to the sales. How do you choose yearlings?
I do go to the sales, you know, and we have to go to the sales to get horses, and you know, in the past I've been really lucky with good horses for small money. I think I've got a good eye for horse. You know, I pick cheap horses, small money, and they've won many group races. For example, National Spirit must cost me 80 grand at the time. Eddington cost 100. Exhilaration wasn't expensive. I think. You know, when I personally go to the sale, I don't look at the catalogue.
Okay.
I first look at the horses as an individual.
Yeah.
And if I like a specimen, then I would note 30 or 40 of them down. Then I would go back to the catalogue and then cross-reference the looks to the page. Okay. Because if you go to the page, 9 out of 10 times the page and the bloodline on the page always it throws you away from looking at a specimen, you know. I look at the horse as an individual, then the blood afterwards.
Yeah. And also, because as you say, you know, you might think, well, you know, this is not one of your favourite stallions,
yes.
You know, and you bypass the horse. Meanwhile, it's the most magnificent individual, you know.
100%.
So, and the mother might be, you know, strong there. So I hear what you're saying.
And most of the times, let's forget about the blood. If you look at the individual, if they're correct and they got the right girth, frame, and etc. Normally they run, never mind what the family is. You know, the family's just a big added bonus, I should say. So if you can match the two together and get the horse, then that's fantastic.
Any other hobbies, Dom? Or, you know, do you watch any other sports? Are you a soccer fan?
I'm not a soccer fan. But I support Man City, sorry.
Okay, what have we got to do? Man City supporter? Does the podcast continue? Or?
No, City is okay. City is okay.
All right. Okay. 2 Liverpool supporters here.
Okay.
Although, how dare we have the audacity to the way they've been playing, or we've been playing. Although they did win the last one, 6-1, wasn't it? Or what was the score?
No, not so good. 2-0, and then draw last night. So up and down.
Maybe 6-1 was the price of them, or something. They've been playing so badly. But so Man City.
Man City,
Man City. And so sports, just relax.
You know what? My sports is racing and more racing. That's all we do. We watch in the Zaki household is racing. But soccer and racing. A little bit of soccer, but 99.9% racing.
That's fantastic. And
how old are you?
I'm 57.
57.
Just turned 57 last 2 weeks ago.
If you'd said 47, I would have believed you. 2 weeks ago, it was your birthday. Okay, all the best. Okay. So, what date exactly?
21st of November.
21st of November.
Yeah.
Okay.
Have you given yourself sort of a timeline here in KZN, or you just here to enjoy it?
I'm here to enjoy it, but I also want to make a statement.
Sure.
Know? So I am going to try my utmost to do very well, and if we do well, you know, we can stay. We can go for the long haul here. You know. But
sorry, carry on.
No, it's just at the moment, obviously, with a limited amount of horses that we got, and I spoke about my Mauritian owners, which were great. Like I told you earlier, that those particular horses will be suited to this, and I'll speak about some of the horses I got. I got a nice horse from Vaughan Marshall, which we purchased for Mauritius, which was earmarked for 2 Group 1s in Mauritius, the 2 Group 1 races, not the Maiden Cup. It was a 1400 and 1600 meter race, which was talked to the master. Then I earmarked Vian's Bomb for the Maiden Cup, because it's a 2-4 race. But those 2 horses will be competitive still here in Mauritius. We did pay quite a lot of money for both of them. And then we got hard knockers like Charlie Crocker and Lunch Money, and got a maiden from Canada, which was imported maiden, Craft Market. And as I said, I got a 2-year-old from Mark Maroney, and we're getting more 2-year-olds in a couple of weeks. So things are looking good at the moment, and the horses are looking good. So
I think with Dominic's passion and as the viewers and everyone would have seen and heard, as you say, you had to do business, which is great. And you've come out rearing, boxing, ready to go, and
I think one point that he mentioned is that he's even hungrier now, and he wants success now, and he's learned from his mistakes in the past, and he's a better person for it, and that, I think that's something that's just going to drive you even more to achieve big things.
It will, if you don't, like I said earlier, if you don't have the passion, you forget about training, because it's got to be in you. You've got to have that passion to train a racehorse. And I'm really, really rearing to go. I'm like a lion in a cage at the moment, ready to go. But again, I must say thank you to Gemini, Honest the Tours, for stringing me along and making my dream come true in South Africa once again. And so we'll see how we go.
And sorry it's taken so long to get you on our In the Box Heat podcast, but to get schedules to align and all the rest of it. But we were adamant that we would have you on, and it's been great, Dom. And just before we wrap up, 2 quick questions. Sponsors, are you sponsored, and would you be open to sponsorship?
I'm not sponsored at the moment. At the moment, I'm with that company, Honest the Tours, but he was the guy that was going to create the yard in Mauritius for me. Okay. And in Mauritius, you need someone behind you to get the format out and then train. And he said, let's forget about Mauritius. Let's come to South Africa and do the same thing. So at the moment, he's behind me. But the company is with me in the company, Gemini. So we're open to sponsors. Okay. We're starting from scratch. Okay. So of course.
Then the last part is Durban's a big place. I'm not going to ask you for your address, but you used to travel. You're at Summerveld and your homes. You do a bit of traveling, and Joburg, the Vaal, everywhere you got to travel. So that's nothing new to you.
For 30 years, I went from Joburg to the Vaal, and it's an hour drive. So traveling. Once there's a lot of roadworks being done. I can't believe the amount of roadworks that have been done in Durban and KZN. It's great when it's all done. It'll be wonderful. Yes. But traveling for me is nothing. I go to the yard in the morning, and I spend 90% of the week I'm in my yard. So I travel once in the morning, once back home. So, I've got the company of my daughter and Caleb. But my happy place is with the horses, so that's great. Nice.
Dom, sure, Raheel, it was interesting. It was interesting, and just glad to welcome you, for Race Coast to officially welcome you, and to the In the Box Heat podcast to welcome you and your family.
Thank
you.
We
just look forward to also being part of your racing journey, because one of us or one of our colleagues will be interviewing you, and getting interviews and comments, and it's just fantastic, and we look forward to being part of your journey as well.
No, I must say thank you to Hollywood Bets. Summerveld, the guys behind the scenes there, that they welcome me, and it's been great. It's really, they've taken in open arms, and it's really, thank you.
And Dom mentioned earlier on, and quite rightly so, about the changes here that he's seen, and the investment, and we can never stop talking about that, because it's we were dead and buried.
It's not, correct. exactly where you are correct. It's not like a small change. It's like something that when you're walking here, you say, wow, this can never be the same place, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the nice thing was I haven't seen Hollywood Bets for at least 8 years prior to when I walked in the other day. And well, Greyville Racecourse. I haven't been to Scottsville, but Greyville, the transformation in Greyville is unbelievable.
Yeah, it
well done to Hollywood Bets.
Yeah, I all agree. Rahil, that's it. Dominic, lovely to be chatting with you. And as I said, we'll see you at Summerveld. And we know that you're always transparent and do trainer interviews or whatever. Once you're up and running, we'll be knocking on your door. And just all the best, and may you go from strength to strength.
Thanks very much, Warren. Thanks, Rahil.
Thank you.
It was great being here.
Yeah, fantastic. That is the trainer Dominic Zaki, who's just given us a quick version of his life's journey. But he's now a KZN boy. He's a KZN trainer, and we certainly enjoy, as well as Adam Azzy and all those that are coming to our province, welcome them with open arms. That's a wrap from all of us, and it's towards the end of the year. We're not quite sure yet, ladies and gentlemen, what our Christmas podcast, year-end podcast is going to be, but I'm sure that we're going to have Rahil Radhakrishna dressed as Father Christmas. I'm not sure if we'll allow that to happen, but we'll try anyway. But we'll think of something nice for you. But thanks for all your support. Punt well, be safe, be kind, and as always, we will see you in the number 1 box.